Hey everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach coming back to you. It's an amazing summer. We are actually enjoying the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And we want you to be a first-rate copy of yourself and not a second-rate copy of somebody else. And the only way to do that is in order to become financially independent, consumer debt-free, and have a credit score above 720. And when you do that, your next step is to acquire businesses, real estate, and leverage the tax laws. We're actually going to show you that this July 13th at 7 p.m. And we're bringing to you the #1 mobile home investor on the planet, in my opinion, Byron Sellers, the founder of Mobile Home Elite Investors. So if you want to plug into the passive income and control your destiny and not have anybody to work for the rest of your life, you need to plug into this webinar on July 13th at 7 p.m. sharp. Hit the registration link below and sign up now. It's only for a limited time and a limited amount of seats. So hit that link right below and come join us on the Beaches of the World Club.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Hey everybody, and welcome to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you again for joining us. And before we get started, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So ladies, how are we doing?
We're doing great.
Great.
Doing great.
Great. Yeah, the people missed us last week. We had a full schedule of things going on over at the 7 Spheres of Money. But we're back. And we can think of this as a continuation or a part 2 of our previous show on Juneteenth. So we talked about Juneteenth a couple of weeks ago. This week, we're talking about the 4th of July, the holiday that just passed. As of this recording, it would be, the week before last. So towards the end of our Juneteenth episode, we brought up this idea of Black people celebrating the 4th of July. And the question is, should Black people celebrate? Oftentimes, you hear the Frederick Douglass speech quoted often. What does the 4th of July mean to the slave? And on the other hand, you have people who feel, we are Americans too. So we should be celebrating America's independence. So we're going to take just a brief amount of time to talk about our thoughts on the 4th of July and Black people celebrating it, and talk about whether, you all celebrated over the 4th of July weekend, and what should it mean in this day and time. So let's go ahead and start with the 4th of July weekend that just passed. So who celebrated? Did anybody celebrate? Did anybody not celebrate? Let's start with that. And anybody can jump in and start.
Well, I'll start. I did celebrate it. Had a very good time. Family. Just had a good time. And why did I celebrate it? Again, we brought this up before, so it's nothing new. I'm an American. Whether we was here, whether they brought us here, how they brought us here, whatever. I didn't come here on my own, but I'm here. And so I'm a person that believes that we can celebrate both. Juneteenth, I celebrated that as well. But I also celebrate the 4th of July because I am an American. So now what does it mean to me? It may mean something different to but again, family, friends, awareness, and just I just hope the divide, a lot of people want to say it's either this or that. I don't think it has to be this or that. I think it can be both. And I think that we can we have a long way to go, a long way to go. But I won't say that I'm not an American, but I am Black. I'm a Black American. So that's why I celebrate both Juneteenth as well as the 4th of July. And that's my 2 cents as of right now. So.
Well, I will say that the interesting piece to me was actually I traveled on July 4th and I saw some interesting t-shirts on some African Americans that I thought was just interesting. And I really tell you a story I thought about you. One of them said free-ish since 1965. Mm-hmm. The other one said July 4th crossed out with 1865 written in and said my ancestors were not free then in 1776. And it was just the messages were so powerful at that level where you can say, you know what, at some point we've got to consider what are we doing. I know that Juneteenth being a holiday I said personally, there was a starting point to a conversation. It was a starting point to a conversation where we need to figure out, hey, how are we going to manage this? And some of us are still upset that we're not teaching it in history classes. You require them to take U.S. history, but you're leaving a lot of that information out. So how do we get to a point where it's done properly, correctly, as well, and it's equitable? Because right now it's not.
It's not.
So the other piece is that what we haven't done is that we haven't defined the word celebrate. See, the thing of it is that us as African Americans, Black people, whatever label we have, we don't need a holiday to get together and do whatever the celebration is called for. So we need to just talk about what celebration means in the first place, because that 4th of July at your house, I promise you, didn't look any different than Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mother's Day, or Easter. When you celebrated, we ate a dinner that was our own, and you ate, you played some card games. They may have played a game in the backyard, some kickball, some dodgeball, some football, some basketball. So that celebration really did it look different in any sort of shape or form than what any other holiday looked like. So when we talk about celebrating, people get confused about the whole point of a celebration. Were you commemorating the event? Did y'all discuss it at all? Because for me, you just got together on that day. You used that day to do the thing you would do without that day. That's not different for me. So to me, I can't say you celebrated. I personally, I've never celebrated it. Some of it was without consciousness. It's like, for what? I watch fireworks, but the things I do are not different than what I would have done. But at the same time, do I give that same allegiance and attention to Juneteenth? Because before this year, it was a Texas secret. It was just us. And then what do we do with that? So again, when you say celebrate, you didn't throw a party for America. You hung out with your family or friends, the same thing you would do on any other holiday. It wasn't anything that was just for that. So again, we didn't talk about that. And I just feel like it doesn't need to teach us, but I just want to point out the fact that if we don't talk about the definition of celebrating, and if you didn't give any attention to that, then it doesn't get any stage either way.
And you bring a good point. I saw several messages that I thought were interesting on this particular 4th of July. One was End Dependence, END, DEPENDENCE. And I thought, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But I like the way you framed it, Onita. It actually gives me pause when I was thinking about the responses to the questions that you put out there, Nick. Easter is not really Easter. That's not when any of that happened.
Right.
Christmas is pagan, all of those things. And I agree. Celebrate is individual in the sense that all of those were days that families get together. Now, personally, in my husband's family, his grandfather's birthday is July 4th. They always had a family reunion. So if anything, it was his grandfather's birthday celebration. But the same things happen like you just described with all of that. And I think the things that matter are not so much how we celebrate that holiday, because we could talk for days about how we should acknowledge Martin Luther King Day or any of those days. But I wouldn't say, till you brought it up, we do anything different than figure out what we're going to eat on 4th of July. And but I will say, on a serious note, with the change of Juneteenth coming this year as a federal holiday, that it is an opportunity, as you mentioned, Onita, to actually also include making sure that if we are going to do something deliberate about it, that it includes maybe considering using it as a day to continue to inform and educate people about the July 4th or whatever holiday we're talking about experience for everyone as Americans, like you mentioned, Tanya. So what I think is similar, of course, I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. We talk about Civil War and civil rights all the time. And of course, from slavery to incarceration is the theme here. We talk about that all the time. And what I would say part of the discussion includes is to always, anytime you can, inform people we weren't free then.
Right.
But we are Americans and we are claiming that. And whatever that means to us, that goes with all those things that while we were not intended to be acknowledged in the Constitution on July 4th, that we're claiming that we are to have all of those things that were part of it. So in that context, I think it's worth celebrating, claiming, informing, and educating.
Awesome.
And that's our responsibility to do that if it's not being done when those things are mentioned. Astoria, you're on mute, girl, and you got all that energy going.
You're on
Here
mute.
comes the radical. Here comes the radical, because y'all know.
Go for it. We expect it.
I wasn't raised with Martin Luther King. I was raised with Malcolm X in the house, honey. You just don't know about my parents. So I'm gonna say this: I don't celebrate any pagan holidays at all. Not one. Not no Christmas. Not no Easter. Not nothing. I really don't give a darn. Thanks, we got a day off, right? Whatever it means. So my dad, I think I shared this in the Juneteenth thing. He's a big celebrate America Day. Anything, any reason to celebrate America, he gonna put his American flag out and be great, which confuses me because I wasn't raised like that with him. As he got older, he started feeling that type of way, right? More patriotic. I don't know where that came from. But I am radical, and I'm definitely not gonna celebrate 4th of July. I'm with Onita. We just got together. The best thing about 4th of July for me, or it being a day or whatever it was the fact that I got to see my family that I hadn't seen in 2 years. I have a very big family. We're very close knit, and we're not used to not seeing each other. Like, it's weird not to see each other. And I even shared, like, with my audience on social media that Thanksgiving was really hard for me this year because I was not used to not being in Mississippi with my family. It wasn't even about the food, and it was just like, I need to see you. I physically need to see you, touch you. Zoom meeting was cool, but no, like it was weird. So it was depressing to me. So it was a reason for us to be together. And I'm like, Stacia, we celebrate family reunions. July is family reunion time. 4th of July is my mom's time. Normally the end of July is my dad's. So I've never really even thought about, like, are we celebrating 4th of July? We don't even pop fireworks. Not even as a kid did we ever pop fireworks, ever went to do any of those things. Like, it was never a thing. If we pop fireworks, it was because the kids asked, can we pop fireworks? And then, like, I guess, whatever, you know.
It's the same concept, but can we open presents? Doesn't even have anything to do with Christmas. Can we open presents?
And you know what's funny about Christmas? Just so we talking about holiday, right? The funny thing about Christmas is my parents instilled in me that they bought those gifts, right? So at school, you know, it was like, oh, we celebrate Christmas, right? My dad told me
Santa Claus.
No, he didn't say that. He did not say that because he didn't want me to go to school and mess up other kids' dreams. What he told me was, my dad loves fireplace. So he lit a fire in the fireplace. He said, I light a fire to burn Santa Claus' ass so he can't come down his chimney. If Santa Claus can't come to the house, mommy and daddy downstairs wrapping the gifts, right? You sound.
No, that's a first time I've heard it put that way. As well as he was really acknowledging the other kids too. Now that's brilliant. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want me to go to school and
tell all of them there ain't no Santa Claus.
Yeah, ain't no Santa Claus.
I wish he'd talk to me. I wish he'd have called my house, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I messed up. I told them that there was no Santa Claus, and I did not know that she was gonna go to school and repeat that. I almost put us out of daycare. I was like, wait a minute. I can't believe I was like everyone else. They were like, well, ma'am, can you ask her to stop? I said, well, I'm not going to ask her to lie. But if y'all stop talking about it, she won't bring it up. You got that brother. That baby, when it told all of the children, they was crying the whole thing. She said, that's not real. Somebody's in a costume. I said, baby, did you cry in
your
school?
Dad thought that through. That's a good one. That's the best I've heard.
Imagine my nieces, and this is something they have carried on, right? So imagine my nieces in 2000s, right? Going to school and say, because they lived with us at that time, right? Say, Santa Claus don't come to our house because Papa burned his ass. And he said like, as he would say, ass, right? So it wouldn't sound like a cuss word. So I just think that my daddy is very creative, right?
That's the best. That is excellent.
Yes. So he always would, you know, make it to where I'm not forcing on anyone else. But
I know what I believe. That's right. I love that.
When it comes to, you know, 4th of July and things like that, I don't believe in that. Like, that's not something that I believe in. Now, I was raised in church and I, you know, understand all those things, but I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate anything. Like, just choose not to acknowledge any of those things. And so I'm definitely going to choose not to acknowledge a holiday that wasn't even created for me. Like, I was considered not even a real person when the Constitution was written, right? And I get we're going to take advantage of all those things now, but at the same time, I just feel like the Constitution is still the Constitution. All these amendments, even the things that they do now, don't make us really be citizens of this country or of this, like they don't embrace us. No. So celebrate something that really don't celebrate my brown skin, especially, and I could be very biased. My great grandmother is completely American white Irish lady, like white lady. My mama looked like a white lady, right? And so I could claim, oh, I'm American, right? But I'm like, no. You told me if I had one piece, one little inch of black in me, I was black. So I'm gonna be black, and I'm gonna stay over here with me. And I really don't want no parts of whatever you got going on. Thank you for the day off, though, even though that means nothing to me as an entrepreneur. But thanks for the day off. Thanks for it.
And to add to your point, I don't know, we're going back to the Juneteenth. I mean, and for you, Astoria, you felt the same way about Juneteenth as well. So, yeah. So I just wanted to, you know, because she's true to what she's saying, because she said the same thing about Juneteenth. And so what I love is we're here, we're having great dialogue, and we don't have to all agree with each other. But what we can do is respect one another. And like I said, Astoria said the same thing. She ain't just saying about 4th of July. She said the same thing about Juneteenth. So just want to switch up. Everybody didn't see it last week or the episode. I'm just letting you know, it's not just that. She listened to the game.
Good. Tanya, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this.
That's right.
I ain't changing.
New phrase. I ain't new. Put that on a t-shirt. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. That's an excellent t-shirt.
Anita, that's your t-shirt. That's a new t-shirt.
It is. It is. I think so.
And what I did, Stacey, you saw the shirt that says independent. Independence.
Yes. That one stuck with me. I was like, now awesome. That
is awesome. And so that's what I kind of wanted, you know, Nick, we had kind of touched on this last week. Okay, what does freedom mean? What is freedom in 2021? One of the things in dependence is we can't always, we can't depend on America and whatever to do what we know we need to do. We said it last week. We built this. We built this country. We helped build this country to where it's at. So we don't have to be dependent, but we have to be collective, and we have to have awareness to go for it. So, so that is just awesome, because independence to me mean I'm free in America. Free means our economic empowerment, our unity, all of that is within our community. That's what it means. So that's what we're going for. Now for me, I don't think, because I'm doing this and I want us to, that don't mean I have to say I'm not American or whatever. But I look at all the other races, I look at all the other people, they're collective. They have a collective unit. They buy in their community, they help their community, they train their community. It's all there. They're not dependent. And most of them, we can say that we were, they're a lot of them are immigrants, and they're coming here and they're keeping it in their culture. Everything they buy in power. They're together, they buy together, so that's what we need to do. And so to me, that's what independence. Stop waiting for somebody else to do what we know we can do. So that's my 2 cents.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, after this message. Stay tuned.
Hi, so this is a testimonial for DJ the Money Coach. First of all, I got one of the best packages that you had, so that was A1. I love the team. They have really come through. You were amazing as a coach. Every week you showed up on time. Every single week. And trust me, I've been in a lot of courses, a lot of classes, spent a lot of money. And unfortunately, some people don't do what they say that they're going to do as a coach.
Hello everybody, my name is Terry. I recently just linked up with DJ the Money Coach, and he's been very helpful, gave me a lot of information, told me how I could turn my personal credit into business credit, also showed me how I can pay for a personal vehicle through my business and corporation setup, and also set me up with Melvin to help me actually put together a will, a power of attorney, a Roth IRA.
I definitely would highly recommend DJ the Money Coach. He's very personable. He's actually real. He actually does meet with his clients. I'm happy for that. And he actually has a team that he works with that that are actually real. They do call people, so they will call you. So that's kind of why I want to rock with DJ the Money.
I mean, I think that's absolutely amazing, and we could say all these wonderful things about us wanting to be together as a unit, and we should do those things. I absolutely believe that one day, soon or very soon, as the gospel say, right? We gonna figure it out. But I'm gonna say this: all these other cultures that come here, immigrants, all those things, they had the foundations to begin. We are just now, honestly, in the 2000s, in like this last decade, learning that we could do it.
Collective power.
Right? Like that we could empower ourselves to do it.
Let me ask you a question.
Let
me ask you a question, Astoria. So when you say that we're learning to do that, the difference now and the difference, let's say in an MLK situation, a man who could bring together a group of people who could walk across a bridge or march on Washington, all the things he was able to influence them to do. The difference now versus then, how do we get to a place, number one, where we could do something like that? If we said march right now, people gonna be like, girl, I'm gonna meet you at the airport. What would it take? You're not marching?
I disagree with that.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish my question first. Let me get the questions out first, because I know y'all are about to get in. It's okay. So my question is, how do we, because we don't have a Martin. So what do we do? How do we get to something that brings us together? That's first. Secondly, how do, we spend a lot of time as African Americans saying things like, I'm not listening to that person or that person, I can't follow them. And that right there, that's a disunification piece already. So how do we get past that? Secondly, how do we really come to the point where you say we understand? How do we demonstrate to each other our understanding? I don't have that. I don't see it. I can't touch it. I don't feel it. I don't see where we are there. I asked a couple of episodes ago, what is it going to take for us to come together to do something where we are going to make an impact? In the movie Soul Food, the mother says, these fingers by themselves do nothing, but when we make them, ball them up together, we make a mighty fist. What is it going to take for us to get there? We aren't there. So when we say we're going to do something, what are we going to do and how are we going to manifest itself? We still can't manage the economic piece. We know we spend our money on the wrong things, but we don't change that behavior. We know we don't give our attention to the right things. We don't change that behavior. And so it's a few of us in pockets doing the right thing, but the image that's out there is not those people.
That's true.
Well, first of all, the narrative is for you to think that there's not a lot of people out there doing it. The narrative is set to say, here's the divide, and there's only people out here doing it. So all you see majority of the time, and what they're going to show you is we not together, we're not doing this. But there is a lot of people in different pockets, and I'm not going to say that there's one person, right? I don't think it's ever going to be a person thing anymore. Even during the times of Martin Luther King, and he could get that to happen, right? And MLK, like Malcolm X, all those, it was a lot of people that helped made all that kind of stuff happen. The difference was Martin Luther King had some Jewish people and some other white people behind him that was gonna help too, and he had the Baptist system behind him. The difference is our generation, or most of us, or I'm using woke for lack of a better word. I'm not saying nobody ain't, I'm just using it for lack of a better word. Woke, we do not subscribe to traditional things. And so the problem is there's a disconnect between our generation and your generation, because you only want everything, not y'all specifically, but most of the time, older people want it to be, y'all got to follow what we going to do. We going to march, and we supposed to march, and we got to do this, and we going to do this, and then we going to do this. So here's how we feel. Y'all did all that goddamn marching and we ain't did shit yet. So you see what I'm like? So you get this big disconnect and no one's trying to come together, where it's more of, it is people that's out here doing it. And it's like several Malcolms. There are several Barbies. There are several Martin Luther Kings out here doing things that are actually kings that are actually trying to work together. The problem is only the young people following. The old people like, he said he don't believe in Jesus, so I can't follow him. Oh, he don't follow the Bible. I can't do that. Oh, he don't want us to vote, and we can't do that. Like, it's always one specific thing, and then it's like, yep, we gonna.
They throw out the baby with the bathwater.
It's one thing, and they just discount it out. And so, Anita, I think there's a lot of, I guess because I got my ear to the ground, and I'm always around all these radical people that are actually doing stuff, and I see it all the time. I see them doing stuff in different cities and different communities. But you only see young people around them. You don't see no older people that's like, let's get behind them and help them, right?
Although half of us older people, what's the line? I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you at just figure out what.
We just talking.
I don't think it's and I honestly.
No, we talk about it in very direct terms on a serious
I don't think
note.
about it. I don't think about it in the age, though.
But we do need that answer, though. That's an answer. That's
right.
The question.
That's a huge answer.
That's the question.
I got that. I'm saying, I don't see a number, though. I don't see a number. It's a mindset. That's what I'm going to say.
That's all I was bringing out. That's all.
It's a mindset. Because my sister is almost, me and my sister are 14 years apart, raised in the same household, right? We different as day and freaking night, right? Like day and night.
Yeah.
But her kids, they radical just like they TT. Right?
They TT. Okay.
16 and 15, right? They radical. Like if matter of fact, I'm gonna have them, I'm gonna make sure we get them to be a guest one day, especially my niece Rebecca, if she'll get on. Radical. Like you'll be like, where y'all find this little girl at? And it wasn't me. I ain't do it. This her own research, her own development, her own whatever, right? She has her own political views, everything. And she's been like this since she was like 5 or 6. So I don't think it's an age. I think
it's a mindset. That's what I was bringing out when I asked you that.
Yeah, it's a mindset.
Good answer.
Yeah, because there's people my age that still agree with older people. That's like, nah, we're not gonna do that.
I call it traditional versus, people. We talked about the 4 freedoms of inner freedom, financial freedom, physical freedom, and location. Location meaning you can live wherever you want to live. That mindset is a mindset to adopt. I do want to just throw in, and I agree with Onita on the point that it's not a lot. The numbers, even though you're saying young people, it's the numbers are still lower than they could be, because even if you're seeing it a whole lot, the numbers of people who would be the critical mass to change the actions still are lower than they should or could be. We're still not. We've got to keep pushing forward to get to the bank.
So I have a question to y'all then. We got way more social media and anything that was happening. So to me, what that tells me is, what was they feeding? Don't take this wrong. What was they feeding you? What narrative was they feeding you only on your one radio and your one TV and your one thing? That's the only, versus you got 17 million types of different social media and different platforms where you can see everything on. So there's no unity. There's like lots more disruptors versus, like, if I talk to my mom, she's like, girl, yeah, we watch channel blah, blah, blah all the time. And this was the radio station. You get what I'm saying? Versus the word can't get out. The word can get out, but if everybody not on the same page, versus there was no word but this one word that was getting out, or this one paper, or you get what I'm saying? So the question is, how do you make it be the same when it was so different? The era.
So here's a question that goes with that though. It goes with it like this. The question is, you said that they were influencers. You are an influencer. Who is your connection to that mindset to bring over the people who can open doors and call and make phone calls and give you the money you need to be able to influence and assist you with what you need? Those are the type of connection we need to start influencing. It's not going to be a group of us, and we might not be outside. Now, if you call me and say we need to be somewhere, I need you to tell me 1 or 2 times so I can be there. But I didn't know. That's going to be because see, when we were watching the riots, was it last year, 2 years ago? I said, we have done this in Houston, Texas. This much right here. Not too much. Is it a Southern thing? Is it we can't manage that process? The few people I saw out, I was very proud of the young people I saw. All the people I saw on the news, I was very proud of them. But I need to understand that, what is the process for getting from wherever we are to where we want to be? What does it take to get there? Because you need everybody in the group. Those people who don't come, but they'll write a check. The people who don't say they support, but they'll make a phone call to get you in some doors to get where you need to be. And that's all I'm saying, is that where is the plan? Where are we headed towards? So my question to you is, as that person who is part of groups and niches, and you say you keep your ear to the street, and I get it, but my thing is this. I deal with it at my level. I teach school. We talk about these issues. I teach math. I talk about whatever I want. I'm going to deal with my group of people and my group of friends, and we'll deal with it that way. But like I said, I can't say for sure I'm not part of the problem, but I want to make sure I'm also part of the solution. I know I'm not part of the problem, that's for sure. That you can't get it by me. If you bring it to me, I'm gonna deal with it and dissect it quick, and that's gonna be it. But if I really part of the solution, whatever that is, and if I'm not, then I want to know that, because I want to fix that part for myself.
Let me to your point, Esther, the whole point is that while I'm use your word, the group of radicals are still siloed from the other groups, to Onita's point. And back in the day when we watched one channel and all that, that's hilarious. But true, we had other points of communication, be they formal or informal. and it was the groups that we were affiliated with. We never really figured out the answer to her question about where the connectors of all of the representative groups lies. That would be, and the connector person is really a powerful person. Mm-hmm. But they're typically not identified. Connectors are not necessarily the same as the leader, mm-hmm. but I would call it even a connector and a translator, because mm-hmm. they've got to go say, here's what they mean when they're going to talk to the other group. And here's what we can do, must do, and here's what that action looks like to these different groups. You see it in the workplace when we're trying to get a message out and have everybody show up at the same time. If you're having an event within the company, let's say you got 5 generations, you will have to pick up the phone for the old people, the older, or the middle group. They only want to talk by email because they don't like talking on the phone. The younger ones better put it on whatever the group chat is or whatever. my only point is somebody needs to acknowledge and identify the groups that need to be reached. And that's what hasn't yet happened.
Yeah, and let me just tell you that I don't, and I know we have a long way to go, but I did see a glimpse of that. I saw a glimpse of that last year with a lot of the protests. I saw it. I saw that the young people, the radical people, most of them were the organizers. A lot of them. I was just so proud. You know, one of the protests I went to, it was like a 15 or 16-year-old got together and they had a mass protest. But what did they do to do that? They didn't just do it on their own. They had a plan, and they used the connectors and they used the influencers to put it together. Now, I saw pockets of that. Now, we were in a different time. Everybody was involved. But I'm saying the process could happen. Now, I don't know if you radicals, do you all want it? You used it. Or do you all want to
be called radical? It's okay.
And I see this all the time, Astoria. Oh, I'm a radical. I do this. And sometimes that you all distance yourself because of the traditional thinking, you know, of people, and you all distance it and make yourselves a silo instead of being that, having that, you know, like you all said, that connector. We may not agree with whatever, but a lot of times if you have a plan and a vision on what to do, the influencer, the money person, the whatever, they're there and they want the young people. You all are future. They want the young. We know you all are the most creative, and I say it all the time, people. I admire you all. You all think so much out the box, a lot more than we do. So we want this. But a lot of times I see the radical groups shying themselves away from the traditional group just to say that they're radical and they don't whatever. So, you know, I see that you all want to be a silo, huh?
What you're saying is all stakeholders have to acknowledge that they must connect, that mm-hmm. they must figure out how to communicate. So if you got to go learn Spanish, I'm just throwing that out as an example, or if you got to go learn old people language, whatever. But both sides, we must learn not to dismiss each other, because it's costing everybody.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I'm going to say I'm not a person that disconnects myself from anybody. I call myself radical because I know that my way of thinking is different from other people, right?
And that's great. I love it.
On the other end of the spectrum, I respect everyone's views, and I'm able to maneuver through all kinds of spaces because of am, right? So like when I joke with y'all, but I'll be like, do you want Astoria or do you want Astoria? Like who you want, right? Like I code switch all the time. And that's something that I've learned to be able to do. And so not everybody is able to do that. And I get it. And I understand that people need to come together. But what I want us to understand too is I think that, especially my generation, this is why we seclude ourselves so much, is we are so sick and tired of bringing something up, starting something, we march, we protest, and then it dies down. because nobody really wants to do the real hard work. Yeah, they bring the money when it comes, like at the beginning, you know, but that real, like nitty gritty, like that grit, that hustle, that we got to get in the trenches and really do stuff. It's not enough people that really want to do that. Like I'm gonna put it this way, they are comfortable with this shit. Like they like, oh, I don't want to lose my job. They're gonna tell me that I can't do this because we're gonna do something different. Like for real, it's not enough people that's just like, nah, fuck that shit. We're not doing it, right? It's not enough of us. It's not enough, right? And so to an older generation, they're like, oh, that's too radical. Like, that's too much. But sometimes what you have to do is do something very radical in order to make change happen. So like when they say, let's not spend any money with anybody else blackout days, like for real legit, like let's not spend money with anybody who is not brown. And when you say that, do it. Don't pretend like you're doing it and you still went to Amazon and order stuff. No. Find the black places where you can order those things from. Like we don't have black grocery stores, right? So make a black grocery store, right? Some of the stuff we have to shop at because of necessity, right? But there are a lot of things that we could do on our own, but there's not enough of us willing to do that. We talk about us, you know, Onita said, we talk about what we want to do to change. You know we should spend money differently, but we're not doing it, right? It's hundreds of lists out here of black businesses that you can support. Like, I know every city got a black list where you can support some black businesses, whether that's you, a restaurant, whether that's the makeup, I don't care what it is, toilet paper, it's all kinds of stuff. I follow a group, and I think it's the Black Startup. I don't quote me on it right now, but I think it's called the Black Startup. But they have every single thing black except for the shipping. They have not found a black person that does shipping, but their whole system is black. Everything, top to bottom. We out here. The question is people really gonna support us? Like, you see us out here, but the first thing that a black person say, or let something not happen the way it should, what's the first thing they say? Oh, you can't never support black people. Instead of giving constructive criticism and saying, brother, sister, I don't really like how you did what you did. Can we figure out how to make it blah, 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 right? Bad review, bad review, bad review, bad review. So then what they do, they get discouraged and they ain't gonna want to do it, right? And so it's like a ripple effect because we don't support each other. And what the base of all that is some healing that all of us have to do. But if everyone needs to do the healing, we ain't never gonna level up because we so robbing Peter to pay Paul. We gotta fight each other. I gotta be this. Man, there's enough money out here for everybody.
Everybody. I say that all the time.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
I created STEAM, S-T-E-A-M. It's science, technology, engineering, access, and mentorship. And people might say, well, what happened to the math? Well, to me, it's self-explanatory. If you're going to be an engineer, you got to be good at math in some capacity. How does that translate when you go in these boardrooms with these Fortune 500 companies who just want to take money out of our community? How do you get them to, humanize our experiences and actually give us the value without us having to be validated through their lens? People don't understand when you start out in business, you got to pay your team first before you pay yourself. I'm gonna say it. You got to pay your team first before you pay yourself because you're invested in a system. I'm excited about meeting you guys because I think you're stumbling on something that's going to actually dissolve that system and actually make you as the #1 player in the industry. Can you talk to that a little bit?
You know what I can say? I can say that I have chills, right now at 4:19 Central Time, Thursday, March 4th, 2021 in Austin, Texas, hearing you say that. And I actually want to refer back to this clip whenever it is that we, do achieve some milestone like $100 million of gross written premium.
The DJ TMC Financial Experts Series is the #1 show featuring the hottest business professionals, working professionals, and entrepreneurs. From the seasoned vets to the rising stars. Email Nick at djthemoneycoach.com if you have what it takes to stand among the greats. Now back to the program. And I'm glad Astoria mentioned the blackout days, because blackout 2020 was a huge thing. I'm actually in the Facebook group, and in blackout 2020 was actually during this time. It was like in counter protest to the 4th of July. Of course, it was on the heels of the George Floyd killing, but they actually had the blackout week during 4th of July week. But I didn't hear anything about a 2021, unless I missed it. But
they didn't do a blackout. What they did was our black dollar, at least from that I followed, they did our black dollar. So they was like asking you to send your receipts. You could spend like $1 million with black businesses, right?
Okay, I did hear about that. Yeah.
I don't know, right? But that's what they asked people to do. And that was my point of saying, we start off
and die down.
So you got 10 people, right? That's like, now we got to keep going. Where are all the people that showed up for George Floyd now? Like, where all the people that said they wanted to do all this stuff now? Where all y'all checks at? What y'all doing now? You see what I'm saying? Like, but that's the healing part. We are so emotional. We allow the media, we allow the people around us to play on our emotions so much that we can never truly heal. Like, do you realize, like, we are numb to the fact that our own brothers and sisters like get shot like every freaking day? Numb. Like, we numb. Like, I never watched the video. I couldn't watch it. Like, that's traumatizing to me. That's trauma. All I posted on there one day when it happened was, yesterday was heavy. And I put George Floyd. That's it. Yesterday was heavy. Like, that broke me down. I don't think that broke nobody else down. I don't know if they acknowledged it, but that broke me down. Like, all the way to the ground. Like, I'm hurt. I feel like I died, right? So I think there's not enough people that are in touch with their emotions that really want to heal. And I'm saying in touch with their emotions, meaning like really acknowledging what happened. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah, you watched it, right? But did you conceptualize past the point of him being arrested, like him going to jail? Okay, now what? Right? Okay, now what? All you wanted was him to be arrested. I don't care about him being arrested. I mean, I do, and I want him to pay for that. But what else?
What else? What's about the reform?
George Floyd died. 17,000 more people died every single day. Like, every single day, we get gunned down every single day. Like, traffic stops, stuff like I literally was having this conversation with my family over 4th of July over the fact that my cousin, he's bipolar. And he's young black boy, very smart, very intelligent, but he bipolar. And the situation is really touch and go, but basically both his parents put him out, told him he can't stay here because of his situation, right? Why would you do that? Right?
In your own, yeah.
What's gonna happen when he's driving down the road and he have an episode? Right? If he have an episode, what's gonna happen? So yes, the policeman got arrested. Where's the reform inside of the police station, inside of the government in general, right? And if ain't nobody talking about doing that, I really don't care. I'm gonna just keep on.
And you can't skip the fact that the part with our own families, though, because you're at a point we're not solving some of our own issues.
Healing.
In addition to all of that,
that's what I'm saying. It's
because a lot of it is why don't we support each other? Why do we have the stigma of not supporting black businesses, or when all you need is one time, see, that's the black whatever, but it's 100 more companies.
But my takeaway is what she said is we're not updating our language to talk about what happens next. What does that look like? Feel like? I actually haven't heard any discussion about what it looks like if you find a solution for your cousin, if you find a solution for buying black. We've got to update our language.
We got to understand the language before that. Why are we as a people like this?
But so that's not a good question. I'm just putting out there that the language has to include a powerful question that leads to a solution. Why we do say asking why are we acting like that, that has that does not have a solution that moves us forward.
Yes, it does. I have to disagree.
Okay.
If you understand why you're having that,
okay,
and
well, answer it then. So answer it then. So why don't we support each other if you ask that question?
A lot of times it's going all the way back to what we were taught. And
okay, now that you've answered that, then what is all I'm saying?
Okay, but sometimes we got to heal and understand it. A lot of people don't get that. They don't understand it, you know, that they're doing it because it's just been done and over cycle after cycle after cycle. And so we have to address that issue. I had to address it because, you know, I remember my grandmother and great grandmother, the very affluent people. And, you know, hey, you know, oh, they did that. I heard the same thing growing up. Oh, I'm not going to whatever. I'm not going to go to that black mechanic. I'm going to go to the white one because they do it better. You know, so that's been ingrained in us for so long that we have to deal with that and understand it in order to move forward. To me, that's why I see it. So while it's not a solution, it helps us. And anything you have to understand your past in order to go forward. I'm a true believer.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay. What I'm saying is when you do that, I would see that we would be making more progress than when we have all these conferences about what we used to do and what we did and why we do what we did. I've been to a lot of conferences about talking about exactly what you're talking about, why we're doing what we're doing. But that same conference, very seldom, I have not been to one that says, now that we know that you did it because you were programmed to be like that the system does you, whatever the reason. Now, what does it look like to move forward? Let's brainstorm. 10 years from now, what's it going to look like?
We need that.
No one ever says that.
So
yeah, we totally need that. I'm agreeing with you, Stacey.
We do say what we need to move forward, but no one is on board with what we need to do to move forward. I said it several times. I mean, I feel like I said part of it. So what it looks like is, it doesn't mean defund police or anything like that, or what people are saying. It means actually allowing them to sit down with us, the community, and say, here's what we need, because it's not going to happen globally, right? It's not going to happen across the United States.
Neighborhood by neighborhood.
It's going to happen in each individual city, right? So for Houston, all I can say is, woohoo, we got a black, you know, what's his name? We got a black mayor and we got a black
chief of police.
Chief of police, thank you. I was debating keep getting in my mind, but Chief Troy Finner. So I think that that's a beginning, because I feel like for him, he's in the community and he can start. Now here's the one thing that we have to worry about. Is he strong enough to not get corrupted by the foolishness that happens in the city
around him? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's the thing. So it's not to say that there aren't people out here trying to make solutions or actually coming with solutions. I think he has a lot of solutions that he's gonna bring to the table from what I hear, right? And what I have seen him do before, because I've met him in person before Acevedo even left. Like this was in like 2018, 2019. I was like, ooh, that's a good guy. You know, like, oh, he might be all right. On the other hand, you got people that are from Houston that's representing our city going to the Senate or to their little closed Congress meetings and not doing what they say they're doing. Right? So what I feel the solution is it's gonna take a minute, but the solution is we have to groom our own people to run for office. If that's the way we're gonna go. If voting is the way we want to go, and that's how y'all want to make stuff happen, right? Because it's all about the vote. We fought for the vote. I get it. I go vote, right? But I don't feel like that's the end all does all. Mm-hmm. Yes. If that's the start.
Part of it, yeah.
That's part of it. Yes, I do believe that's part of it. We have to groom that person. And when I say groom, I mean like Marcos Rubio's, all these, I can only speak for Texas, because I only know Texas people and Florida people, you know, people that I know around me, right? They mamas and daddies was in political places, right? They groomed them babies. Mm-hmm. right? They said, this is what you're gonna do. Here's how we're gonna do. So if we're gonna groom some people, we need to go take them to Miss Onita and be like, no, look, this how we gonna groom y'all to run for office. Y'all gonna run for office. We ain't gonna talk about it. This is what we're gonna do. Here's how it's gonna work.
I cannot wait.
Huh?
I cannot wait. I'm with it. I cannot wait.
I threw you in there.
That's my thing right there, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when Abbott started cutting up, I said, where's my candidate? Where's my candidate? I started calling for people. I said, look, get Beto on my phone. Let me start emailing somebody because I need a candidate to get it together. I don't have any issues with, but there's somebody whoever's trying to run for governor, I would definitely be meeting with them.
See, that's the huge point that we haven't talked about, and another topic. Holding people accountable.
Yes. Yeah.
Cultural.
Yeah, before you go, Tanya, before you say that, Tanya, let me say this. Here's what we do in Houston, Miss Onita, just so you can know, to hold people accountable. When I said the NCAA, I mean the
NAACP.
Them people. You know, I can't get my words together when I get real passionate. My words don't be right. Anyway, the NAACP, right? When I told you they was full of shit and we don't really fuck with them like that. We don't like them. Excuse my French, y'all. Like, I really hate
it. Ain't French, but go ahead.
You know what I mean? Excuse my F-bombs. When we say we didn't do that, when I say the most amount of young people are members of the NAACP in Houston, right? We put up our own people to run in office for that to make change. You know, they drug our name through the mud. Said that my boy was doing all kind of stuff, like that he stole that money. No, that's not what happened. You know what happened? You got Reverend Dixon over there with his church people, and they over here fraudulating votes and bringing vans of people to come and vote and all this other stuff. This is like real true stuff that's happening. They don't give money to the people that they should be giving money to. They over there up on their high horses doing stuff, right? So when I'm saying like we out here doing
the old guard is doing that.
We out here doing stuff, okay? When people ran for office this time, they had to come through us, and we was like, if you want to come and talk to our community members, first, the skin is your ticket in, right? So if you ain't brown, you can't come around, okay? The skin, your ticket in. That's number one. Number two, if you ain't talking about the stuff that we trying to talk about, if you ain't trying to put the stuff on the ballot we talking about, you can't have my vote, period, goodbye, peace out, right? But it's not enough of us doing
it.
It's not enough of us actually looking at candidates, showing up,
understanding the candidates, not going by name recognition and really understanding. And so
a story we have talked about this, and we have talked at it several times, but I get back on, we need to talk. We need to meet this week. I'll be back on Thursday. We need to meet Thursday or Friday. I really don't care what time of day or night it is. We need to meet
I'm gonna bring you to a meeting.
No, I need to talk to you first because I need to give you some things.
She said, talk to me first.
No. Here's why. Because there are things that they need to hear from you that I'm gonna show you, and then you can bring it to them. Now, if you want me, because they're gonna look at you like, did you vet her? How
No, they're not. Okay. We very open to everybody. You know what I tell you? Your skin is your ticket in, boo. You the right color.
She said, I'm loving
this.
This is my girl. Come on in the room. But she brings out some of the most powerful points, because the old guard, nationally and locally, are keeping out the young people, and that corruption is huge. I've seen it all over.
If you had called me next time that happens, next time he does that, call me. Call my phone and say, I got somebody for you. And when I show up, I promise you, that slinking back thing he does, he gonna slink back to his car and go, we got to go. We can't talk to her right now.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I thought that I could make that difference because to me, I'm a connector, right? My father knows him personally, knows all those people personally, he don't work with them people, all that, right? I am like my daddy's hidden gem when it comes to Houston, because people don't really realize that who I am, right? And who I know, who I've been influenced by. When he saw me show up, he was like, ain't you, oh yeah, your daddy. I said, yeah, that's my daddy. What now? You still over here being, okay. Well, I ain't seen you at church. You ain't gonna see me at church. That's not where you gonna find me at, boo-boo. Right? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they try to do that whole backsliding thing. Like, this not a biblical thing, right? This a political thing. Keep that stuff separate. Jesus ain't gonna come save this political part, okay? Yes, he can save your soul, but he not this political part. We can't just keep praying to Jesus thinking it's gonna change. I'm sorry.
Well, the problem is that if it's wrong, Jesus ain't gonna take his side no way. Because again, remember, he turned over the table in the church, in the synagogue, for them selling things on his daddy's property. But anyway, again,
we ain't gonna go there. Sorry.
I no, we can go there because, like I said, again, if I show up the way he doing wrong, I promise you, he gonna get back in whatever vehicle he came in, and he's gonna go back home. So that's that. Next on the agenda, I promise. So we need to talk. We need to get together this week.
Unleash the women. It sounds like that's the power of this.
Let me write that down. I need that to be a political campaign. I'm not speaking no sense. She said,
your skin is your ticket in. I've heard a bunch of awesome slogans. Your skin is your ticket in.
No, really, for real. My friend Lloyd is very radical, and I follow a lot of radical people. But for real, he's a very good person. He owns a business. He literally took his money and our community money, like no bank funding, no nothing, created the Black Store. And from the Black Store, we have been just, slowly but surely putting our agenda in place. Like, well, I'm going to say he has a book, it's called The Black Agenda. So really what we need to be doing, the question is people going to actually
do it?
And
you got to keep telling us, because I never heard of it. So now I have. So
it's on Amazon. It's called Our Black Agenda.
That's awesome. Well, whew, I think I heard six topics. No. You're the.
I'm so passionate.
No,
we know, and we respect and understand that. We got it.
We love it.
But I love y'all, and I love y'all opinions. I just be feeling like sometimes I be like the real radical one of the group.
No, you're doing the work, but we're also doing it in other ways as well. And some of it needs to be translated in ways that we all need to clue in on and actually see, and a lot of people's approaches may be different, but it may be actually reaching the same goal. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we can identify when that is happening and allow people to do what they're doing in their sphere of influence. But I think you brought out something really significant, you and Onita, about the when folks go out of their way to try to put somebody else down out of jealousy. It don't even matter what the reason is, but we're not holding people accountable. And what they see it as is possibly being small fish big fish in a little pond, and thinking that somebody's trying to take their power away.
No, they didn't want them to take that money. That's all it was. Ooh, I didn't say
that. And it's true. It's true. That's what I'm saying. So those people need to be called out and put out their misery.
What is this young man's name that wrote the Our Black Agenda? I like what you just said.
Lloyd Ford.
Got it. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Where's his picture?
You can follow him on Instagram. Let me find the book, and I'm gonna put it in the link. And y'all,
I have it in my Amazon cart already. I'm not playing no games, ma'am. I'm not.
Yes, you own it already.
I've been ordered it before we get off the show. You playing with the wrong one, ma'am. Don't talk about it. I am about it.
Hey, what I tell you, Onita? I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, baby.
Okay.
I've been radical for a long time. I have been on this journey for a long time. And I think part of it was me going, and we could talk about this at another, this is our other topic we should have talked about I think whenever. But going to a HBCU, being raised where I was raised, right? And having a split family, meaning like I have Texas influence, and y'all know everything big and better in Texas. We already radical and crazy. We think we are our own continent, not country, own continent anyway, right? You got that. And then you got mother and father that were in the first integrated schools in their town. So my whole mosh posh of stuff makes me be like, yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about. These people crazy. I'm only going to, this is a lot, right? So you just get a lot of different influences just from my natural life, me doing my, having, my mom biracial, right? My daddy black. And we have colorism / you know, the racism stuff that be happening in one family, like everything. My mama would, if y'all ever meet my mama, she would tell y'all she hate white people. Like, you raised in a house with somebody that said they hate white people. Like, what do you do? I'm just like, what do you do? Your mama hate white people. Your daddy a radical for Malcolm X. Got him on the wall. Like, I'm just saying. And then you go to a HBCU that teach nothing but, you know, Black culture, Black history, Black everything, black, right? Inside of a racist state that just took down their flags. That's a whole lot. That right there, that's a lot for one person. So that's what y'all get. So I'm sorry that I'm not apologizing for who I am.
Oh, heck no.
A lot.
Absolutely not.
Not at
I mean,
all.
I'm just saying that I have to change the way I talk about it, because sometimes I say that I'm sorry. So that's me checking myself, saying I am no longer apologizing for who I am. I realize that all of those influences empower me to be the person that I am.
And that's Astoria. That makes
That's
Astoria
important.
That's the
Astoria is. So
that's the Astoria, not Astoria.
I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Keep hanging with us though. You got a job to connect the older people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna connect y'all.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, I still need a number on that old people stuff. I still looking for that number.
It's
a
a
mindset. It's
mindset.
not a number.
It's a mindset.
Because my mama about to be 70 years old and she just as radical as me. She be at the meeting.
Yeah. I don't.
My mama be on it.
Yeah. The thing about the mindset thing also is that the mindset can also change, you know, with time and with age too. So you might notice, you know, quite a few people who were radical in their younger years, they become less radical in their older years, you know, or vice versa, you know. So that kind of goes back to the mindset thing. And I love what Stacia brought up, because it's something that I always think about, that, you know, our collective freedom will take a multi-pronged approach. You know, there isn't just one way to achieve our goals, you know, and I think that's important to point out. And I think people kind of get caught up in, like, it's this way. No, it's this way. No, it's this way. But when you, in reality, you need all of it. So you need people in the grassroots, but you also need people doing the work in the C-suites also, you know. So I think that's a very important point. It's something else for us to talk about in the future show, you know. So I think it's a good time that we can start wrapping up this conversation by closing out with our final thoughts on 4th of July. You know, by kind of tying everything together. You know, tying together what we opened up the show with. Should Black people, quote unquote, celebrate? You know, because celebrate is a term that we haven't defined, and that's another point, you know, that I thought was very interesting, very important, that we define these terms, and how technical we want to be about these terms also, you know, because some people will say that celebrating means, you know, like Anita said, you know, talking about the nation's independence and talking about why we're so thankful and so proud and so patriotic to be an American, while other people might define celebrating as getting together with your family and you know, cooking some food, like oh, y'all still celebrate, but we talk about Independence Day, but hey, I still consider that celebrating. So you know, that's very important to define these terms. But anyway, yeah, we could go ahead and give our final thoughts on that. And before we do that, the last thing that I'll mention is and Tanya touched on it too, you know, talking about what all of this means in today's terms. You know, since times, although a lot of things have, you know, remain the same, some things have changed also in regards to, you know, the 4th of July and independence and freedom. You know, do we talk about the 4th of July and independence as a part of you know, the American construct, or do we talk about it as we're separate from the rest of the collective? You know, so those are that's kind of my synthesis, you know, putting these pieces all together. And whoever wants to go first with closing out. So give your final thoughts on the 4th of July, promote whatever you want to promote, and then we'll say goodnight to the people.
We'll be real quick and do it in 15 seconds. Stacia Robinson with the Benechoice Companies agreeing that the 4th of July is to be acknowledged however you see fit. That's how I will respond to it, and it deserves a chance to define it not only how you see it, but also to educate others in your sphere of influence. That's it.
Very well said, Stacia. Tanya Archibald with Great Lakes Property Management Group. And again, like I said, I associate myself with, you know, 4th of July. I'm an American, so I celebrate it in any type of way with family, friends. But again, bringing awareness and in terms of freedom, freedom in 2021 to me is meaning, hey, I love it. I have to bring it up again. Independence. I love it. Like you said, I think that's a thing for the church, is that we need to find collectively in terms of economic power, unity, and all of that. And to me, that's what we can do as Black people to be free in 2021.
I'm going in the middle because I don't want to be last.
Slow.
Too slow. I beat you. So Astoria with Astoria, right? So no, no, really, my brand is Astoria Story, or the I Am Queen brand. So you choose which one you want to you know, follow. But yeah, so you find me on Instagram at Miss_STORI, or at the I Am Queen Hair. So TheIamQueenHair. And I guess to wrap it all up is, no, I do not celebrate 4th of July, but I don't celebrate any holiday. So that don't matter. I just think that there are all days where you get back together with your family. But what I always tell people is education is free, knowledge is free. Figure out what resonates with you and do that. Like, research, educate yourself. And if it don't resonate with you, then don't do it. If it resonates with you, then do it. That's why you got freedom of choice. So that is freedom in 2021, freedom of choice.
My name is Onita Gage of Onita Gage Speaks, Painting with a Twist, the math educator, political activist on call, and coach, definitely a coach. I want to say that we have some ways to go. We need some glue to get together. We need a roadmap. I do believe that there are parts of the older generation, the mindset is that we did get to a plateau, or we made it. And then we forgot there was some stairs behind us to continue to get to really equal places. We have allowed some things to get in our way and get in our space. And we've become blind to some of the injustices that we are witnessing until they're affecting our households, our kids, and then we have to understand things differently. Then we want to, stand around and say, okay, let's fix it now. There was always work to do. We just did not do all of it at the time that it was called for. I recently put on my Facebook post that's something that said, procrastination is the arrogant attitude that God owes you another chance to do what you had time to do. And believe in God or not, whoever your deity is, whoever gives you that time, you didn't make it yourself. You had time to fix some things we did not do. So we have to do that. So Story has my commitment. So we will connect this week before Friday. My attitude about everything is by Friday needs to be finished. I will not take this list into the weekend. So by Friday, Story knows by hook and or crook, we will find each other. I'm gonna find on Instagram right now. I've found my Instagram page. It was an app on my phone, but I was not logged in.
You found it.
It's right here. I'm gonna find it right here. I'm working on it right now. Trust and do believe. I'm gonna have it together before the end of this evening. But if all else fails, a Story and I will talk on the phone. I'm gonna find her my number in just a second in the darn Telegram thing she's got me involved in. Now, everybody
I got all day tomorrow. I got all.
No worries. Don't worry. Hey, say less. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Because first thing you're gonna do is give me a copy of the T-shirt you got on. I wear large. So our first meeting is gonna be over lunch, and then large gonna slide across the table, and I will be cash apping my money to you. I didn't ask for it for free. I asked for where my copy is. I looked on Amazon. It ain't on there. I already been looking through the day.
It was something I created for my brand, and I just haven't done it lately. So maybe you should be recreating the shirts for me. Maybe that's what's supposed to happen.
We're gonna talk about that too. That's on our list. We now have a list. Hold on, let me write that down. Wait a minute. We're gonna do our political stuff and our coaching and mentoring behavior. And then we're gonna reproduce this shirt. Got it. No worries. Reproduce shirt. I wrote a list. We done it now.
She about to put me to work, y'all.
Oh no, don't. We get together for some work. Nick already know what time it is. Nick like, man, if she work me over this text message, she definitely gonna work you in person. Say it live for the people in the front. Nick, tell them one more time. Tell them I'm not playing. We ain't even met. Nick don't even know me in person. He like, what? Who is she again? What you say? Nick like, I already emailed it to you. She already had that. So I'll say this and close up. You have to find the place where you can be true to you, whatever that you is. And like I said, I'm not of the opinion that if the reason for meeting. So for instance, I'm on your side. I am the captain of the Shenanigans Club. I'm about, if we got together and there was no cake, we just had to get together. But if it was food, it was a family event. And mostly we talked about each other. So we didn't actually celebrate that. We didn't stay home, protest, and pout. No, we did not. But we didn't mention it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't do anything with it. So it really wasn't, I didn't give you any credence on that. I didn't give you anything that fueled what you got going on. You can't say, see, there's another Black person celebrating Independence Day. You can't say that. And that's what people think they need to have in order to tell us what you've done is wrong. But I say this to us, that our coming together has to be imminent. We have to have a plan that we move forward, because the things that people do for themselves are their necessity. The things that they created, necessity is the mother of all invention. So the things that they're doing go along with the things they plan to do. And we have to be watchful of those types of things. There's a lot of things we don't see in our future, but they're there, they're being planned, and we have to be careful about that. So anyway, it's on Anita Gage. Facebook, now on Instagram again. It's right here on my phone. You can email me at AnitaGage@AnitaGageSpeaks.com. I answer all emails. Thank you.
And thank you.
I love all y'all.
I love you. I love you more, Stacey.
I love y'all more. I can't wait to get together for real.
Yeah, we got to plan something.
Yeah, let's look at our calendar
that we all can get together.
Yes, I see that in our future. I was just looking at some Grand Cayman tickets. Oh, we're gonna have a good time. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in. Count me in.
Don't worry, I'm gonna send the link in the chat.
To
be responded to.
Yeah, so it sounds like that with that initial Astoria and Oneida meeting, that's going to be a business meeting that y'all can write off too. And that meetup sounds like it's going to be a business meeting too. That
yeah,
write off too.
Definitely.
There you go. But thank you all, Tanya, Stacey, Astoria, and Oneida, for again for giving us your time and your insights and your wisdom, on this topic. And I like what Astoria said about freedom of choice. So 4th of July. What does 4th of July mean to the slave? Not much, in 1776, since we were in chattel slavery. But being that the chattel part of slavery is done, of course, we got other forms of slavery, but the chattel part of slavery is done in 2021, aside from that little article in the 13th Amendment that I talked about, you know, on the Juneteenth episode. We do have freedom of choice for the most part. You know, of course, there's some asterisks, some fine print with that too. But for the most part, we have freedom of choice compared to other nations and other countries, you know, around the world. And I think that if, you know, that's something to celebrate if you do celebrate 4th of July. If you don't celebrate 4th of July, that freedom of choice is something that you should celebrate, you know, 365, you know. So that's my final thought on this topic. You know, of course I'm Nick Westbrooks, but you know, it's not about me. It's about the ladies here, because you have been watching Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. And we wish everyone a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind. And we want everyone to join us on the beaches of the World Club. And your beach may not be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your peace of mind, your freedom of choice. So on behalf of DJ the Money Coach, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Go ahead and wave, y'all, like y'all do at the end of, yeah.
We forgot.
What's going on? It's your boy Byron, one half of the Mobile Home Elite Investors. Listen, you do not want to miss this webinar where I'm talking all things mobile homes. Got a chance to partner up with DJ, the Money Coach. Super excited to not only drop jewels, but to keep you guys posted about what's going on in the mobile home industry and how you need to tap in. Listen, sign up right now. See you soon.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.